It's 2026. If you have ever started a habit and never stuck with it, this video is for you. Happy New Year, first of all. My name is Denise. Welcome back to my channel. There was a season in my life where I wanted to be disciplined. I've tried to incorporate a lot of things into my routine, my self-care, doing all these extra things. And I always fell off. I always fell off of it. And every time I failed, I told myself I lacked discipline. But really the truth is I was trying to build habits that didn't really fit into my life. You see all these morning routines, 5 a.m. wake up, gym routines, all these things. I tried them and it just never really felt like me. I don't think I am a 5 a.m. girly just because I love my sleep no matter what time I go to bed. Waking up at 4 a.m. already as a nurse with my job is exhausting. Now, you want me to wake up just so I can go to the gym at 5 a.m. in the morning? It's not gonna happen. So we don't have to try to do what other people are doing in their lives. It works for some people and it doesn't work for others, and that is completely okay. We don't all have to be 5 a.m. girlies for us to be considered disciplined or whatever they're calling it nowadays. And habit building isn't about becoming another person. It's about supporting the person that you already are. So today I'm sharing 8 habits that helped me kind of ground myself, build myself into the person that I am today. And I'm not even gonna lie to y'all, it took a lot of months, a lot of sitting down with myself, a lot of reflections, a lot of therapy, a lot of prayer. And I'm still working on it. It's not perfect, but I felt like I wanted to come and share with you guys how it is going so far, and hopefully you guys take something out of it. So the first habit that I've incorporated, it's a non-negotiable in my life, is movement. Movement is really important to me. Movement makes me feel good. I wake up in the morning and I usually try to go to the gym early in the morning, and not early as 5 a.m., not even 7, not even 8, 9 o'clock in the morning. So I like to sleep, like I mentioned. I go to bed and I wake up 8 o'clock. That's usually my time that I decide to wake up, and I feel like it works for me personally because I've tried waking up earlier and I just feel like it doesn't really work well. I like to wake up slow. I don't like waking up and I'm already like rushing and doing all these things. Now occasionally I'll wake up at 7:30, but I'll stay in bed maybe 30 minutes up until 8 o'clock and go on and start my day. Again, movement doesn't have to be a workout. Movement literally can be anything. You can stretch in the morning. You can just walk back and forth in your neighborhood. And for me, movement some days can be just going to my ballet class and coming home and calling it a day. And some days it looks like I'm going to the gym. Some days I'm going to a group fitness class. And there's so many different things you can do just to move your body in the morning or in the evening, whatever works for you. But that is my non-negotiable habit that I've incorporated in my life. And I try to be able to do that at least 4 to 5 days a week. And it doesn't always look the same every week. Like I mentioned, sometimes I do a 30-minute workout. Sometimes I can go on for an hour. Some days, y'all, I even go for like 2 hours at the gym, depending on what I'm doing. If I took a fitness class, then I want to stretch afterwards. Then I want to practice my bar training because I do take ballet. So there's lots of different things you can incorporate in movement, and just try to make it you and make sure it fits into the life that you have built, in the life that you do, so that you don't feel burnt out at the end of it and then quit. The point is to continue going for the whole year. The number 2 habit that I've incorporated in my life is having a creative outlet. And obviously I'm on YouTube right now because I told myself, I think last year was when I actually decided to take YouTube seriously, like last year, 2025. I've tried so many times on and off, and my consistency has just been really bad. I've gone months where I'm like, I post 1 month, then 6 months later I post, and it's just like, who's gonna be here watching you if you're posting once or twice a year? Lots of different ways you can incorporate creativeness or creativityness without feeling pressure. Literally just things that make you happy and things that make you feel fulfilled. And it could be just journaling, it could be reading. I've started reading on my Kindle. I got a Kindle for Christmas and I've been like literally obsessed. It's been wonderful. I've been reading on there. It just like helps you get into your feminine energy, get into your femininity, and just be soft. And that is the goal for 2026, is to be soft, to be gentle, to be unbothered. We're just here being, you know? So journaling, there's painting, there's dancing, and literally you don't have to be good at any of these creative outlets. They're just there for you to enjoy, for you to not stress yourself out. We already have work and we already have all these stressors in our lives, that a creative outlet for me is just something that I feel like it helps bring me joy, it helps bring me peace, and it's just something that I love to do. So that is what I've been incorporating in my habit. Journaling, I've incorporated that the last 3 or 4 months. I've been journaling, just doing reflective journaling. I have these cards that I've bought that kind of just helps you. I'll put it here. I got it on Amazon, but it has questions on there and it just helps you kind of like think about the question, and then I just write whatever my thoughts are on my journal. As far as reflective journaling, I usually do like a gratitude journaling where I'm just like, I wake up in the morning or at night depending on just how life works, but whenever I'm writing in it, I'm doing a gratitude, like 3 things that I'm grateful for and what I learned that day. Just basically just so my mindset is focused on being more grateful than focusing on whatever the world is telling me to focus on. So that's something I've incorporated and it's been wonderful. The 3rd habit that I've incorporated in my life is spirituality. That can look like so many different ways for a lot of people, but for me personally, it is just grounding myself with the Lord, praying, meditating. I have this app. I have so many apps I've tried in the past year in my spiritual journey that it's actually kind of ridiculous, but it's a journey. It is a journey. That is why it's called a journey. We're not perfect at it, but we are aiming to be good and to continue working on it and just being more into meditation and prayer. And for me, meditation, I've tried different ways of meditating. So just listening and trying to talk to God and listen to God speak to you. And just like, you don't even have to be thinking, just being in the moment and being present while you're sitting in quietness and silence, without any phones, without any distraction, no music. That is one thing that I'm not good at it. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not good at it. I'm trying to become better at it. So I'm really trying to incorporate that into 2026 and just like find 10 minutes, even 5 minutes to just sit still and just listen to the silence and just be in the moment of listening. And the number 4 habit is knowledge. Just finding little bits of time during the day to get some form of knowledge. And it doesn't have to be very like structured where you're just sitting down learning stuff. But for me personally, I'm trying to, I'm in school. Right now we've been on break for like a month. But when we do go back to school, obviously it gets a little tricky for me to like be like, oh, I want to learn this. I want to learn this. A couple months ago, I was talking about like I want to learn French. So far, je parle français un peu. Je parle un peu de français, mais mon père et ma mère parlent français. Can y'all tell? Like, it's crazy because I can understand the language when other people are speaking in like certain regions of like French speaking regions. Parisian French, don't even come and try to talk to me. I feel like they swallow their tongue when they're talking. I don't understand. Any other French countries, like in French speaking countries in Africa, I understand their French pretty well. I just cannot speak it properly, and then my accent is so bad, but we're still working on my French. But like I said, back to knowledge can be a lot of different things. You can learn a language, you can learn a skill, read or listen to a podcast. I listen to a lot of podcasts, a lot of like podcasts that are more self-help podcasts, not just any random podcast. I listen to a lot of holistic podcasts, like a holistic living, holistic lifestyle, healthy lifestyle. There's so many different podcasts out there that you can find and just gain knowledge from listening to them. My fifth habit that I'm incorporating and trying to incorporate is the mindset development. We usually train our bodies through fitness, stretching, all this stuff, right? But we tend to ignore training our minds, and this kind of ties to the last point that I made. There's so many different mindset development practices that you should be doing or trying to incorporate in your life. And again, it ties down to the last point that I made, but there's journaling, there's therapy, there's meditation, and I have these books that I bought last year. No, I think it's been a little over a year, but I bought it, and it's like a coloring book for adults. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about. So I have this, like a brain games. I got it on Amazon. It was very, very inexpensive, but in it has like little brain games here that you can play, like color and like, you know, like crossword puzzles, things like that. It kind of just gets your mind thinking, because I feel like with social media, I feel like I'm not working my brain as much as I'm supposed to. I also have this is kind of similar to it, but this is more like puzzles, and it has, like I said, like a whole bunch of games. I also have a sketch pad. I usually draw on this. This is another one of my pastime hobbies that I do. I am not the best at any of these things, y'all, so some of these things is just things that I do, like I said, for fun, just to kind of like quiet my mind down whenever I feel like my brain is all over the place. My tabs, you know how like on a computer there's so many tabs open, and I feel like sometimes I feel like that's me. So whenever I start feeling that way, I'll either pull out my sketch pad, just things like that, just to help train our minds and keep our minds as sharp as possible for as long as possible. Number 6 is cultivating relationships. This year, or let's say 2025, has been the year of relationship cultivation for me personally. I am the biggest introvert that you will ever see, that you will ever find anywhere. And 2025 was like a year of a lot of lessons and a lot of like uncomfortable comforts. And it was also the year where I pushed myself to really be out there and build relationships. I even like hosted my first Friendsgiving a couple months ago for Thanksgiving, and it was great. Like, it was just like things like that I told myself I'm really trying my hardest to like be outside, be out there, not be outside in that way, but be outside incorporating things and like pushing myself outside of my comfort zone. Because if it's up to me personally, I will literally sit in my apartment and enjoy the rent that I'm paying for. Just being very intentional about building relationships and the people you bring into your life. And I try to just be friends with people that I feel like have good energy, people have good vibes. Shine bright like a diamond. People that are just pretty like outgoing, but like simple in a way where it's not complicating to be friends with them, and ambitious. Like, I love having ambitious friends because I feel like I'm an ambitious person, so I just like learning from people who are ambitious as well, and just being around people who are like that. Other ways of cultivating relationships can be just like going to church, having a community. I'm still trying to build that part of my life, as far as like having a church community. Group fitness, like that's another way of building community. I met so many people while I was like in my group fitness era, group fitness class era, and just building that and like going to group fitness classes. Those are the best place really to meet other people that are like-minded, because you're here for a reason. You're working out, okay, so you must care about your wellness. And it's usually like a bunch of girls too who go to group fitness classes, so that's another way to meet a lot of other girls that are like-minded. Also, just trying to incorporate one intentional weekly check-in. So every week I try to sit down and write in my calendar, okay, what do I want my week to look like? And like usually I put in like my fitness classes or gym schedule on my calendar, just so I and being intentional, and I have it in my calendar, which means I'm gonna do it because it's in my calendar already. I put a time slot for it. And then just like one weekly thing that I want to incorporate for that week, and then you just build from there every single week. And it's not always perfect, but you build on it, and then eventually you can look back and be like, wow, that month I did this. Strong habits grow faster in community. So if you incorporate going to group fitness classes and you're going with a friend, it's more likely that you're gonna keep going with someone because you guys will push each other to go. Number 7 habit is financial wellness. I'm not a financial advisor, so I can't really speak on this heavy, but I learn and I try to read a lot about financial wellness and finances in general. And if you are not checking on your finances monthly, you need to track your spending. You need to make sure you know where your money is going. There's so many different like finance educators on social media that I feel like I'm not compelled to speak on it because I'm learning myself. So I just try to incorporate one financial concept every single few months, or continue building on what I'm already doing and making sure I'm checking my finances, all my accounts, making sure everything is where it's supposed to be, everything is what it's supposed to be, and money's going in where it's supposed to go to. I have routines and things that are set up so that most of the time I'm not really thinking about it. Things are already just moving because I've had this set for years. And all you have to do is just keep going and checking to make sure everything is consistently going how it's supposed to be going. And that can be investing, that could be your retirement funds, that could be your savings account, having credit cards, making sure you're paying your credit cards back on time. And if you don't know much about finances, I would say go on YouTube, go on TikTok. There's so many financial educators that literally just try to find one person that you trust to teach you all of these things, and just try to incorporate it weekly. Don't try to overwhelm yourself with so much information, but try to just weekly add one thing that you learned, and then the next add one thing that you learned, and eventually it's going to become like a system where everything is just happening and you don't even have to think about it. The best habit, number 8, I saved the best for last, is sleep. I talk about sleep a lot in my personal life, like maybe not as much on YouTube, but in my personal life, if you know me, you know I love my sleep. Like, I don't play about that. And it's not even about going to sleep on time, it's just about getting my 8 hours of sleep. Like, I can go to sleep at midnight, I'm still gonna need to get my 8 hours of sleep. I don't care what time I go to bed, I need to get my 8 hours of sleep. So that is that's just a non-negotiable thing for me, unless of course I can't control it. Like, let's say I have to go to work at 4 a.m. and I was up till like midnight because I was doing whatever. Like, obviously I'm not getting 8 hours of sleep, but best believe if I can control it, I will. And I try to make it like a habit as well, even when I have to get up at 4 a.m. in the morning, go to sleep earlier so I can at least get 6 to 7, 8 hours of sleep. Sleep is productive. So if you are not getting your sleep and you're thinking that you're gonna be functioning, going to the gym, doing all these extra things, it's not gonna work. You need your sleep. You need to be, resting so that you can be productive the next day. So those are all the habits that I've been trying to incorporate. We talked about the 8 habits. I told you guys how you can incorporate these habits, and just start small. Don't try to overwhelm yourself with all of these habits. Usually January is when people start like trying to do all these things that they've never done for months or for years, and you try to incorporate it all at once in January, and it never works fully. It never goes on. You might be able to do it for like the month. You gotta try to build the habit. You gotta try to stack the habits. Every single week you're incorporating one extra thing that you want to incorporate in your life so that it becomes a lifestyle, and not just, oh, I'm working out because I have a vacation coming up. I'm working out because summer's coming up. I'm working out because of this, my wedding is coming up. Like, it should be a lifestyle if you want it to be a lifestyle. For it to be a lifestyle, you have to incorporate it slowly so you don't overwhelm yourself and burn out and then stop doing it altogether. And usually if it feels too easy, you're probably doing it right, because you can start with 5 minutes. Even just reading, you can read 5 pages a day. Be like, okay, cool, I read. Tomorrow's another day, read another 5 pages. Next thing you know, you're reading about a chapter a day. Like, it can happen. Celebrate your wins and just track your progress. Just keep in mind, missing a day of habit is not failure. It's just being human. You're gonna try again tomorrow and you're gonna do it, and then you're gonna try again the next day and you're gonna do it. So don't beat yourself up if you miss one day of your habit. Just try not to miss 2 or 3 days consecutively and consistently. And all these healthy people that we see online, they're not perfect. They're literally people like me and you, and all that they have that's working for them is consistency. Be very soft and gentle with yourself, because at the end of the day, we don't want to burn out trying to be healthy. We want to be healthy and continue being healthy and continue being healthy and just live that lifestyle of being healthy. So I hope that this video was very helpful for you guys. Comment below which habit you're going to start this week. If this video helped you, please like, comment, and share with someone who is tired of starting over, just like you and me, and I'll really appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe for more self-care, nursing life, and gentle discipline outside of the hospital. I'll see you in my next video. Thank you guys. Mwah.